Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War with our first ever PvP against SirTravis. We are in 1942, finally! And Travis, well, I was in voice with him when he did his turn, so I know a bit of what happens here. Look at him going on the offensive with air, using carriers over in Egypt, trying to bombard our tanks there. If I remember correctly, a sandstorm is not when you want to bombard, but here we are. He's attacking an Italian sub, taking no damage. Running around in Ethiopia, still trying, still failing to really do any damage at Addis Ababa. Causing one of our subs up north to die from attack. He knew where it was because it was raiding, so naturally. He heads south, encounters our elite subs. Holy shit! 6 damage to his destroyer. And there he goes. Finding the injured sub and destroying it. Dude, he yelled so loud when that happened. With a patrol boat. With a patrol boat, which is the perfect ASW, like, hunter. Bombarding the one that he ran into, losing massive damage on a destroyer, too. Causing it to run away. Running into these other ones, attacking with Canadian destroyers. Taking damage and dealing none. He cheered a lot due to the fact that he killed that sub, but honestly, that wasn't a very good time for him. I think he's just happy to finally get a kill. I think that was pretty substantial for his player morale. Going on the offensive over in China, taking some damage. He's going on the offensive in the winter. Tanks against recon is still not a good idea with snow, sir. He's feeling very motivated. I could tell. I just recorded the summit with him. That one kill has motivated the living crap out of him. Plus the fact that America's almost in the war. You see him taking some damage, dealing some damage. Taking more damage while trying to do a bombardment here. Dealing 1 damage. Taking 2 more damage. Holy crap. You know, it's so crazy because he messaged me. He's like, oh, this turn was amazing for me. But I'm watching it back. Dealt 1 more damage. Took damage. And swap out. More RD defensive fire. And he attacks. Takes none. Deals... Or he takes 1 and deals none. This is not a good turn for him. He's attacking in the snow everywhere, which is a huge mistake. He's not getting good results. I do question what his idea of a good turn looks like. Have his turns literally been that bad up until this point where that was a good turn for him? Because I would hate if that was my turn. Finally lost a submarine though. The Soviet winter strikes. Oh god, did it? Uh-oh. Turkey complains of arrival of US tanks in the Middle East. Really? I don't know what that's about. Pro-Allied mobilization Argentina. Oh yeah, he probably had the event to mobilize Argentina. Portugal moved 14% towards allies. Saudi Arabia, 7%. Turkey, 4%. We knew about Turkey. Saudi Arabia and Portugal's interesting. Lots of raids going on. Oil embargo hits Japanese morale. Got a destroyer off by Australia. And a lot of ships pre-placed. Woo, we're spotting a lot of ships to get an idea of where his fleets are. That's crazy. Heavy tanks are now available for production in Germany. Hey, and Italy. Okay, that's hot. So. America, 85%. He's no longer getting that debuff. So whatever he had forward has moved away. It was 80% in his last turns. 85% now. So that's 8% right there. Up from 77%. He only got that debuff tick once, which is probably going to be 3% max. So I probably have... Ooh, well, no, you mobilize at like 85%. So I don't really know that I have any extra time other than right now. I might have 1 more turn, but even then, I don't know. I'm not so sure. Because you get the preparing for war early. Yeah, I think this is it. There's no going back. 85%. By the next time it comes around to my turn, I think they'll be preparing for war and maybe in the war. I think we have to attack them. I don't think there's any choice at this point. Which is a shame because the COG is not going to be there, but we do have the Soryu. Basically 4 fleet carriers and an escort carrier total. That's enough. It's not all I wish that I had prepared. But unfortunately, I guess I waited too long. I was hoping we could drag this out further than simply 1 extra turn, but here we are. I was looking through the manual and I found this. He must have done this. Let's see, Italy, politically aligned. Not surrendered. Yeah, we took El Alamein. 200 MPPs at 50 a turn. 4 turns from America. to send tanks to Cairo. Turkey may complain, and then 75% chance of swinging 8 to 15% towards the Axis, which Turkey did swing. I guess this goes to the UK, these tanks, because America's not in the war yet. We have seen that he was deploying them, though. They moved a decent bit, but due to that event, they're only at 1% towards us. They're not even leaning towards him. He also went for Saudi Arabia, which is currently at 7% towards him. And I already forget who the other one was. I think it was like Portugal or Ireland or one of those, but neither of those are really a threat. I wish I could recap events like that so I could remember pretty easily. Mongolia is one of the bigger chances to join, but they're still very far away. I'm sure some will move towards the Allies once I declare war on America this turn, but that's something we'll have to deal with when we get to it. Oh, I see. The Soviet winter did hit. It did take effect. Here's the effects right here. We do have a lot of damage on a lot of our units, so it'll be kind of expensive to repair all this. But it's middle of the winter. This is probably why he went on the offensive, because we were probably already like this. But the damage really isn't too bad. I don't know how these guys got hit. They're not even in the snow. But then, like, these guys didn't. We did take a lot of damage. It's going to take me a turn to repair it, but it's snowing, so it's in our favor to not do stuff like this anyway. Our supply lines have gotten fucked up, too, because the HQs got fucked up. Repairing the HQs is of utmost priority, so I'm just going to get that out of the way now, because it's going to greatly determine the amount at which I can repair to begin with, which, as you can see, I can't even fully repair a lot of things because supply just sucks now that all the HQs have such a bad way of things. Even down south, it might be beneficial to just go ahead and reinforce the HQs first, just to make sure supply spread improves all around. Yeah, that's already like almost half of the MPPs that we had to spend as Germany for this turn, so I don't think we're really going to be doing a whole lot of things generally, all in all. Germany doesn't have any repairing or research to do. They have plenty of repairing to do, but no research to do, so we can go ahead and just reinforce things as much as possible. No research to be done. We did take some damage on all these planes, unfortunately, but bringing them back up to shape shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. We do need to move up fighters to towns to relieve the HQs a touch. We do have this fighter coming up, and probably another one soonish. It would be this one right here. And just getting those placed on all those towns eventually. Maybe not this instant, but eventually. Keeping one closer to the north is also probably a good idea. I think I'll put one right over here. We won't repair them for right now. It would be very expensive to repair that many planes anyway. We know he has that patrol boat around here because he went ahead and destroyed one of our subs. Finally, he got one. It took a lot of focus fire to pull it off, though. So if we want to move around here, we probably want to make sure to avoid that. He's been trying against us here. Holy shit, we could kill a destroyer. I'm taking that. 100% I'm taking that. There you go. Dead enemy Canadian destroyer. Took 2 damage. Totally worth it, if you ask me. These guys were already heading southeast because they were low on supply. I need to get this over here somehow. Alright, so I took these two and I went down south and then southeast. This one couldn't move as far because it killed that destroyer. This one could move further. Scouted the way. It's clear. The one over here, I moved up towards Brest, up north, northwest, and then north, and ended up right here. The one I was just looking at, I went northwest and north until I got right here. And there was the 2 here. One here by the Faroe Islands. I went south and then down to here, put it out of silent mode. I moved the other one up north and around because it has more supply, and I want it to be the bigger nuisance that he goes after, or just leave this one further away from supply in general, because that's what seems fitting to do. And here's the one that was injured otherwise. Going back, we're still going to have some raiding going on primarily with the colonies, but also now with Canada, UK. No America, UK raiding right now. But this guy, Catfish, he's getting somewhere. Ireland's not in the war, so. And then UK, USSR has a chance to be raided. He'll probably try to intercept one of them, but it's taken all he can give. He's losing a lot to maintain this. You can't rebuild a ship for cheaper in this game, so he has that against him. It's not snowing anymore up here, so I could go on the offensive, but our supply is low, our morale is low due to the winter. I'd rather just sit still and entrench for right now while it benefits me to do so, while I wait for the HQs to get their supply all sorted out. So I'll just reinforce anyone that can reinforce, which includes this guy up to max, this guy up to max, this guy not up to max, this guy not up to max. 235 MPPs remaining. Oh boy, this guy not up to max. We can scout out Saratov. He does have an entire army on Saratov to be concerned about. What's supply look like out here? Really, really bad. It looks really, really, really bad right now. So advancing any further isn't going to be particularly beneficial to me. I might move this tank back because this tank needs to get some real, like, fixing up that it can't get out here now that it's off on a limb. Based on what he said in the summit, I could tell he's probably centering any southern defense around Stalingrad, so I doubt a lot of this stuff back here is actually defended. But getting back there would be an absolute pain. An absolute pain. I can't get all the way up there with literally anyone. It doesn't show supply is going to be too great next turn, but it should be better than it seems. I think it's just not accounting for everything that could change. One of my planes is capable of doing some bombing, but I don't even know if I want that one to do any bombing. This one also doesn't have its upgrades to damage, so could still do it. I might. Yeah, I think I will. 2 damage dealt to a tank. Somehow 1 damage taken. I don't understand that, but yeah, we took 1 damage. This fighter could head up to Orel, potentially. Where's our other fighters here? Bryansk, Orsha? Yeah, if I wanted another fighter on a town, Orel would certainly do it. Or, you know, an HQ up to Orel or something. Something like that. But, like, this guy definitely doesn't need to stay down here. We have a fighter already here. It's good enough we could get a Hungarian to do anything else. So, yeah, let's just move you up to Orel. And then let's see where supply goes. I mean, it should still be decent here. So we'll move up that way. These guys can't really do anything else. They're all close enough to an HQ to certainly be in some sort of good range next turn. I mean, this one can upgrade, actually. So, sure. Yeah, we'll upgrade this one. It's 45 MPPs. Reinforce this tactical bomber. Reinforce this tactical bomber. There's a lot of MPPs. Reinforce this tactical bomber. This fighter cannot reinforce. 74 MPPs remaining, and that's it. We're going to reinforce the Isthmus army. We have... Oh, man. Oh, it's because this is a German unit. The artillery took damage in Finland, but the actual Finns didn't. Well, I'm glad that's a thing, I guess. I only have 24 MPPs remaining, so... I'm going to put 1 point into this Hungarian, because I think this Hungarian needs it more than others, and we're just going to, I guess, like, hold the front for right now. There's no point to advancing beyond here. At the moment, he's got special forces down here. Yeah, he's guarding Stalingrad and the Balkans quite fervently. And as for Sevastopol, yeah, this guy's going to need a lot of bombing to really bring down, but we're out of MPPs. I went ahead and reinforced basically everything that I thought was uber important. Now that we're in 1942, our MPPs are going to have to split as we're going to need to prepare for the future as well. We do have the rockets in position, so we can go ahead and rocket London again. 2 dealt. Okay. And can't forget about Portsmouth. There you go. A little more damage to him. I believe we're still researching the rockets. Yes, but it's going to be a while until the next level of rockets is done. With no other MPPs, we can't reinforce any of the Yugoslavians or anything or anyone that we have on the front. I intentionally told him in the summit that the Yugoslavians were not on the front, and it worked out, I think, to my advantage, because he thinks they're over here now. They're not, but that makes him think this is more defended than it is, which would make him think twice about attacking it, or make him send more than he thinks he needs, thus diverting resources away from elsewhere. He thinks he saw Germans down here, so he doesn't know that Italy is really only defended by garrisons and some Yugoslavians. So that's kind of what I wanted to get from that, and that turned out to be what I got from that. We do have a new German 10th garrison that we could put somewhere. It's gonna go basically anywhere. We do need one eventually to go to Belgrade. So, and we're not gonna be pushing here for a couple turns. So I think I'll go ahead and I'll just place this one down here to head down to Belgrade. He has a long ways to go before he gets Turkey to join him. I don't care to dispute that right now. I need all my MPPs focusing on repairs over here and other things like that. A lot of the garrisons are fucked up, man. We don't have anything on Kharkov, and we need something on Kharkov. So I'm going to operate... I don't know which one. Either the Romanian or the Bulgarian. I guess I'll operate this Romanian over to Kharkov. And so that is taken care of now. Everything else is taken care of. Still need lots and lots of reinforcements. I'm going to take this injured tank. We're actually just going to put it up here so it can chill out in these woods, I guess. Forest does benefit tanks quite a lot, or defense against tanks, question mark, but it is beneficial for the defense of this unit, so I'm going to put it over there. We're going to move this tank northeast to kind of reinforce this area as well, leaving everybody else entrenched where they are. He's attacking in the snow, he's going out on a limb, and it's not worth it, but if he chooses to do it, then that's it. Yeah, you know, he chooses to do it. My morale's low, so I'm just going to let him come to me. The Finns are not too low, and they could maybe deal some damage here against an army. Finn Kami Rebels Army. Great. I'm going to go ahead and attack, dealing 1 damage, taking none. That's about what I expected to an army. It's a pretty good result. Should hopefully weaken or prevent a further counterattack on his part. Coming up, this guy was moving somewhere that it would be able to reinforce, which is going to be right here. So he's going to move down there. The first corps, I was hoping would be able to get further than this if I were to move it up. But I think I will just move it up for right now. Because again, we have another group right here. So shouldn't be a big problem. I'm going to go ahead and move this way towards Joensuu. Maybe convince him to divert units to Joensuu. Otherwise, maybe go claim it. I might just pull what he pulled though. So I'm not sure if I want to progress that far. I'm going to move this garrison up here onto the road and rail line. May not need to stay here. Regardless, we have other corps around and stuff. And if this reinforces here, I could free up 2 corps to go operate around here. I just don't have the HQ to make that super efficient, and that would require a lot of MPP investment. Those Romanians will be here in March, and we have a destroyer coming in April. Our surface fleet is still needing massive rehauls before it's really useful. I'm only really going to use it for like once we go after the UK directly. Until then, it's not going to have that much of a use. But with 0 MPPs remaining, not sure there's a whole lot remaining I can do with these guys. Looking at Italy, we need to get this sub out. Don't know if we'll really be able to do that easily. He might have another unit around here, another sub or something. I'll just move back normally and make my goal getting over here. That could reinforce. And hey, look, we found an enemy sub. So I can try to bombard that. Very strategic placement, but now you're getting bombed. So we dealt 1 damage to a sub that he had inside of here. That should hopefully ruin his idea. Destroyers are not too good at hunting this stuff down. Remember, their defense value is high. We would need a motor torpedo boat to really go and attack him there. So we'll just deal that 1 maritime bombing damage. We finished all Italian research we were doing. They only have 79 MPPs, so not a whole lot that they can do there. The air is all too far away to do anything, but we can still go ahead and start here with 10th Army against this Indian Corps that he seems like he operated it in from somewhere else. Maybe from Iraq down through Syria. Syria's not in the war. Maybe from over here. I don't know, but it showed up very suddenly on the front with no defenses, so it's an easy target. Artillery or not, it's an easy target. So we're going to go ahead and attack that, dealing 4 damage, taking no damage, just as we expected. And now we can either swap in or shuffle things around. Either way, we have such an abundance of units over here. I guess we could just move back like so. And then move the 5th Army forward. Do a blitz attack against that same unit. Defensive already fires again. We dealt 3 damage as expected and took no damage as expected with this turn. Al Alamein is still the front. I don't think that his arty can really do a whole lot more to me right now. I do have my options of what I can go after. He's got this Sudanese unit on my side of the river for some reason. Don't really understand why he would do that, but that's what he chose to do. Our supply on the front is just fucking terrible. I'm gonna use tank against tank here. 1-to-1 odds, it's worth it. When dealing with Italians, it's worth it. Ooh, but we only dealt 2, we took 3. That did not end up being worth it, as it would seem. I'm gonna run this unit away. And then we'll go ahead and attack with the AE core. Dealing 1 damage and chasing it away, like, entirely. Holy shit. Was not expecting that. Well, alright. Shit. I'll move this core up towards Cairo. Get into a semi-defensive sort of position. If I move you up here, supply will double here and be much better on the front in general. With the way that we're bouncing supply. This can only go for so long, though. This can only go for so long. Supply here is going to be trash. I'll move you up. We'll do a blitz attack against this low supply Sudanese core. Don't even know what it's doing on this side of the river. There's not enough supply to upgrade at all, so we're just going to move forward for right now. Still 1-to-1 odds if we were to use cores to attack across the river and blitz attacks across his tanks. He's got more tanks in the back now. He's got this place pretty fortified, quite frankly. He's got it pretty darn fortified, and we can't push up into this oasis just yet, sadly. However, we do still have 1 more army strike we can do, I'm realizing. So I'll move you back here. Onto El Alamein, we'll attack, and we'll finish off that core. So that's a dead enemy core. We did take 1 damage we weren't supposed to take, but still, dead enemy core. That has like just moved up. It was an Indian unit. Indian units are harder to replace. If that was actually India, no, that was Indian, right? I think that was legitimately Indian. And so Indian units are harder to replace because they don't have as many MPPs that they get. We did beat up that tank and force it to run away. There is now nothing on our side of the river except for this 1 Sudanese core. Our HQ pushing forward is helping to carry supply. Hopefully we'll have enough supply next time to reinforce the Ariat tanks. 79 MPPs. Very limited amount to use, but there are some infantry weapons upgrades that we can do, and that's really the most important thing to do, and we can only really do it in the back here, where we have high supply, due to our general lack of resources anyway. So let's upgrade all these cores in the rear. He's getting upgrades as well, so that's 4 of these cores in the back that have been upgraded. They're going to make their way to the front when time and supply allows. And then other things in the rear will eventually upgrade as well. I've pushed pretty far, though. I'm pretty happy with where we've pushed up to. He can continue to try to solidify this as much as he wants, but so long as we're pushed up against the river, it is defensive for him as it is defensive for us. So unless he just focuses, you know, UK on here entirely, he'll need America to come through the rear to really make this not work out. In which case, if he did that, I would need like a mass retreat from this front, trying to hold this corridor while redeploying units west. And as we know, America's about to enter. It would take him time to set up such an invasion, however. Time, and then time to push forward. So who knows? That would be a ways out from now, so I don't theoretically really have to worry about it too much. Down here in Ethiopia, we still have supply, and so long as we have supply, we're not going to be losing. He has supply on either side as well now. He's taken Mekelle and then just like left it. Pretty much just left it the way it is. So I don't know if I want to move off this capital and step on Mekelle. That seems like a bad idea. If he has anything at Kassala, I think I'll just leave that be for right now. We need to look at other things. Although all that really remains is Japan. And Japan, as we know, we're going to be setting up Pearl Harbor on. That'll be quite a seismic, quite a cataclysmic event when we do it, so I think I'll hold that off for the next episode. We see this here, this seems preemptive. I don't know why this is just spilled out from here. He must have a collection of ships here for that to make any sense for him. Not to mention this battleship over here. He's clearly moved whatever units he had by Hawaii away, and that's why he stopped taking that debuff. We have to do an earlier attack than I planned, but again, it's just going to be a quick, like maybe 2-turn hit and run. If he tries to engage me, then it should be difficult. If he has this battleship back here, a lot of his fleet should be back here as well, especially because it seems like he has moved away. But we also still need to get amphibious transports in the water. Like, I don't even have a lot of the transports deployed to go after certain things like Manila, the Philippines, things like that. But they would be set to preparing for war initially, so I might be able to get away with just a normal declaration at the very start, like the first turn, and just wait for the second turn to do anything else. That might be how we have to play this, because my timing just didn't work out with the game's mechanics, sadly. But that's gonna be it for today. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you on the next one.